Hi. Hello, everybody. It is catch-up time. How are we doing today? I hope you're all doing better than I am. Hi. I didn't actually intend to immediately open up with a cough, but that's where we're at. Hey. How are we all doing today? Is my mic on? My mic is on. Okay, cool. My mic is on. Hi, everybody. Hi. How you doing? No, this blanket is not perfect. Hey! What happened there? Oh, head pat! That's why I was loading. You're on YouTube too much. That's absolutely fine. Good morning / evening. Welcome, Jack the Minion. Welcome, welcome, Angelica. Welcome, Rasselhouch. Welcome, Naverno. Welcome, B-Man SC. Wash my hands after? Absolutely. I mean, I live by myself, so I'm not really infecting anyone anyway, but yes, I will be washing. Yeah, oh no, you wash your hand after. Yeah, definitely wash your hand after patting me. I shouldn't be infectious anymore at this point, because it's been a couple of days, of, hacking and coughing, but I don't know. I'm still coughing, so I might still be infectious. I'm annoyed. I only left the house once. I left the house once. I was like, I'll go get my groceries, click and collect, and then I was like, I missed stuff, so I'll go back into the shop and I'll go get some more food. Cause I gotta admit, I wanted a roast pork and I wanted some sprinkles. And those are two very unrelated items, but that's what I wanted, so I went back into the shop, and I shouldn't have done that. If I hadn't have done that, I would have had the last 4 days as a functional human being. I mean, I would have worked, but I am indeed sick. That's why I got a blankie. Oh, yeah, sprinkles. Yeah, like, I mean, in Australia, we call them hundreds and thousands. But I wanted to make, I don't know how familiar with you guys might be with Dylan B. Hollis. He's a big cooking TikToker, and he's got there's a recipe that he posted for sprinkle cookies, and needs like 4 cups of sprinkles to make. You need 4 cups of sprinkles to make it. And I've made them before, and they're really, really good. So I wanted to make them again, so I grabbed sprinkles. I haven't made them again because I was busy and then I got sick. It's a lot of sprinkles. Yeah, you're right. It's a lot of sprinkles. I have to try not to move too much because after grappling with this blanket asset for about a good 10 minutes, I would say, grappling with this blanket asset, it's still not right. It still shows my shoulders if I move too much. I don't actually have a blanket on in real life, but I think this, like, I think it communicates the situation pretty well. I feel like if anybody comes into the chat, then they're gonna be like, why does this person sound like they smoke a pack a day? And then they'll see the blanket and go, oh, she's sick. I will cough away from the mic. How's that one? I'll cough away from the mic. How's everyone doing? I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys aren't sick. I hope you guys are not sick. I want you guys to not be dealing with what I've got. Schadenfreude is not pleasant. It does look like it's floating, I know. It's not on me. It looks like it's floating. Maybe I'll make a blanket for my real model at some point. That sounds like a real pain in the ass, to be honest. Ideally, I won't be using it too often. Ad break is coming. Well, I'm glad your stomach's improved. My stomach was bad all the way up until I got sick, and it was like, you know what, we'll give you a reprieve. You'll have a reprieve while you're sick, and you won't have to worry about your stomach being crap while you're sick. You know what? Screw this blanket. It sucks. You're gonna see a little bit behind the scenes here. Hopefully, maybe? I don't, maybe it won't. Oh no, there it is. Yes, everything is sideways. And now we're putting my jack back on. Thank you. My sick work is weirdly slow. It is a bit of a weird period, I think, for work. I know that my work slows down around this time of year too. It's funnier that it sucks though. Yeah, the scuff is funny, but it's annoying me every time my shoulder pops out and shows everyone in the world that I... Yeah, I'm glad I'm well enough to stream tonight too. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to play anything, to be quite honest, because the only reason that I am here being able to talk to you, because I sat down at my desk and I was like, ooh. Still on summer break, but I miss my friends. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with summer break. It can get a little bit lonely. I mean, I would try and organize something. Maybe a pool party. This is the thing though, right? Getting into the pool used to be like, you pay a gold coin to get into the pool. And this is not even that long ago, but these days I think it's $20 to get into a pool. Break in! Break into the pool. Go find a dead body. That's how you have a real summer break. Or watch Phineas and Ferb for ideas. Don't watch Phineas and Ferb for ideas. The clip of like the body horror Candace that like crawls up, like tries to eat. I might just be talking. I might just sound like I'm having a fever moment. I've had lots of fever dreams the last couple of days. That said, but the body horror Candace that's been showing up in regards to Phineas and Ferb has been going around, and it's not good to look at. It's very rubbery, big wide open mouth, wow, as it tries to eat the characters. Holy shit! I'm not allowed to go to public pools since this girl named Adriana Young was found dead in the pool with bleach marks and burn marks where I am. Did not actually... See, I was making a joke, and now full of regrets! Wow! Did you see Milo Murphy? I don't know what that's in reference to. I'm gonna be reeling about the whole actual dead body in a pool for a moment. What the heck? Damn, and so they haven't caught who did it? That's crazy. So I'm scared to go to public pools. I can't blame you, man. I'm not gonna lie. One of the most traumatic things I ever experienced that didn't actually happen, like, this is not comparable. Yeah, dead body in a pool. One of the things that sort of turned me off of, like, urbex, or like, you know, just exploration in general, as it used to be called. Wow. They searched that pool, and later that day they found her body. Holy crap. Wild. That's wild. And burn marks! So she was probably... I mean, I don't mean to, you know, do any sort of internet sleuthing, but bleach and burn imply that she wasn't killed there, she was dumped. Great. Yeah, well, don't go to the pool. They're really not leaving many options open for young people these days, are they? It's like you can't, there's no shops to go to anymore. All of them have closed down. You can't just go hanging out there, and even if you do, the po-po show up and tell you to fuck off. To America for forensics. The owner of the hotel said that they didn't do it and the hotel got burned down twice. You need to move! Like, even just the next town over, man. Just hop and a skip and a jump, go somewhere else. What the hell? Damn. Man, I hope they catch whoever did it. I feel bad for her family, because unfortunately there's sudden death is always not great, but sudden death with no answers is even worse. So I feel bad for her family, and I hope they get some kind of closure and they catch the guy who did it, because that really sucks. It really, really sucks. And in the meantime, it might be time to move. But even then, even if you move, there's not really... It feels like... This is the thing, right? Here's the thing, my country is split up into regions, and the region I'm in is where the good high schools are, so I can't move, yeah. There's usually something like that. Like, when I was growing up, I lived in a really small town, and we had 2 schools, 2 primary schools and 1 high school, I think. And my primary school was the not religious one, and you can't see my hand, but I put in quotes, and the other one was a Catholic school. And you didn't really have much options, because they still taught Christianity in the not Catholic school. So I'm agnostic, and my family in general is not particularly religious. So I had to go to my mom and be like, hey, can you write me a note saying I'm not doing this? And she was like, okay. So I got to sit in the corner and do crafts. But we were the closest town to us was about a 45-minute drive in either direction, because we were pretty remote. And I mean, I was having to get myself to school as it was. So going from a 15-minute bus drive to a 45-minute bus drive by yourself when you're 7 years old, not ideal. Not ideal. Certainly not healthy or conducive to safety. The sticks of Australia aren't exactly the safest places either. Most people out there are on drugs. Not always the hard stuff, but most of them are drunk. And a lot of them are smoking a lot of weed. A lot of weed. It's a lot of weed. Yeah, my mother once tried to push me into a Catholic school, and I won't go there. I think... oh goodness, I recall one summer camp we immediately got intensely Catholic right after one activity. It's sneaky. It's sneaky, right? Some places they're like, oh yeah, no, we don't do that, and then you're like, what? I'm in a Catholic school, so I'm kind of scared of the rituals they do, because they have a doll of Mary on the stage, and once a year I think they do a ceremony where they crown the doll. This is the thing. Right, as soon as they're like, it's all like sanctioned, like the government's like, yep. But as soon as you start talking about it in this sort of context with like other people who aren't, devout Catholics, it sounds like a cult. Cause it's a cult. It's not. It's aesthetically though. I fully believe in religious freedoms, but I think religious freedoms is also a matter of you need to also allow other people to have their religious freedoms, and that's kind of the entire antithesis of the Christian faith. A lot of wars have been fought, and a lot of people have died because the Christian faith, Christian faith itself has been used as a means of, if you don't comply, are going to beat you with a stick. In the least sort of damaging form I can express in that respect. Yeah, they don't follow the other rules like not having other gods, but treat people like gods. Yeah, it's kind of become it's looped into itself, and the people who tout its rules as though they're this dogma that must be followed without rhyme or reason, usually haven't or don't follow the actual teachings of what it's. They cherry pick. They cherry pick. And I think people who cherry pick are just using it as, it's like picking up a book and beating someone to death with it. The book could be it could be any book. It could be any book, but in the reality, and they're like, well, it's the book. The book made me do it. And it's like, no, it wasn't the book. You took it upon your own hands, you raised it up, you inflict the damaging blow. It's not the book. You're just using it as an excuse. The book never wanted that. And it's sad, to be quite honest, because there's quite a bit in the Christian faith that really has good values and good morals, and would, if it was actually followed and actually, if as many people who claim to follow Christianity actually followed Christianity, the world would be a lot more peaceful and a lot kinder. But it's not. So that's just the breaks. That's the reality that we live in. And there's a Christian horse show and screams and money. I can't believe in my city there isn't a good church without that kind of stuff. It's sad. It's sad. It's honestly, it's sad. It's kind of why, I think it's probably why the Lords of Shadow Castlevania games kind of appeal to me more than the idea behind, and the TV show, that said. The TV show and the games are more appealing to me because they tend to have that little bit more nuanced take of the Christian faithful aren't always obeying the Christian dogma. Once a year, all the grades go on this trip where the boys and girls are separated. It's called Day of Reflection, where we go to Catholic churches, and the last time the boys got ice cream and we had to pray and be devout all day. Yep. Hi TB, welcome. We're just chilling out tonight. I am sick. I don't know how much of you guys are actually catching of it in my voice, but it's definitely there. I'm definitely a little bit more gravelly than usual, unless I don't sound any different. Hopefully I sound different in some degree, because it'd suck if I sounded like I sound, because I sound like I smoke a pack a day to me. But if I sound like that all the time, that sucks, because I've never touched a cigarette in my life. Say, yeah. I don't know, man. I just, it's upsetting to me because I just know that, as somebody who comes at it from an agnostic point of view and has this sort of understanding of bad fever. Yeah, I had a fever on my first couple of days. I had a really bad fever, actually. I'm still having fever dreams. So I'm on my tail end. I hope you're doing okay. Make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids, taking some pain meds, paracetamol, ibuprofen. You can take both of those at the same time, but not too many. And keep in mind that paracetamol is every 6 hours. I hate how pastors manipulate the Bible to make profit. It's very noticeable. Don't push yourself too hard. I'll try not to. I want FIFA dreams. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty exciting to be on a World of Darkness Vampire the Masquerade oil, like it was a big shipping container and it was a whole bunch of story. Ibuprofen and some tea, yeah. I made myself a hot drink yesterday and I wasn't very happy with it, so I'm not really keen on making another one, to be honest. I could probably make myself some tea. I wouldn't mind making myself some tea, actually. I've got some decaf tea. I'll make it later. I'm not gonna make it now. Ugh. Ugh. But yeah, I mean, I can say this until the dogs come home. I wish people... The thing is, it feels like it really only applies to the... My always like candle. Yeah, I have to take a very specific concoction for that particular time, because mine's all kinds of messed up and they don't know why. And I'm going to possibly perpetuate some conspiracy theories, but I can tell you that from when I first got it to when it sort of leveled out and I stopped being a teenager to 2021, I could, you know, I run a calendar off of it. And then 2021 rolled around and a particular thing was particularly mandated by my workplace because I work with old people and I had to go and get that particular thing. And now I don't know what the fuck is happening. And it also coincided with a couple of issues with AFib. So that's a thing that happened. And there has been reports that can happen as a side effect. And the doctors just literally do not know what's going on. They're like, we don't know. No idea. Here's some drugs. Maybe they'll help. Maybe they'll give you a blood clot in your leg and you'll lose your leg. Real actual side effect, by the way, of one of the medications that they've given me. Like, don't take this for too long. Yeah. 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 It's... Look, I don't envy you. Look, once it does stabilize, it's okay. It gets to... But also, keep in mind, if you get to a point when you're a little bit older and you're going through life and you're like, like, I'm still experiencing a lot of pain, make sure you go and see a doctor and do not let them tell you that it's normal. Do not let them tell you that it's normal. Because if you're experiencing really crippling pain, once you're sort of like in the in your 20s, that's not normal. It's not normal. You could have endometriosis. The average diagnosis time for the men in our chat for endometriosis for women is 10 years. I might need to go bald. Prosthetic potential. Maybe. I kind of live with pain in my leg and back because I can't do a thing without paying a heavy penny, yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah, it's a chill stream. Yeah, 10 years. Yes, it is. The average diagnosis time for endometriosis for women is 10 years. So in case you've ever been like, I don't know, women seem... No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. Yep, it's not normal at any age, complaining. It's really heavy and alternating monthlies when you're in your teens is normal to a degree. If it gets to a point where you're like really passing out and that sort of thing, you could still go to a doctor. It's okay as long as you're making sure that you are advocate for yourself. Advocate for yourself. Don't let a doctor tell you it's normal. Don't make the damn phone. I'm like, oh, the bolt. I'm confused. Sometimes I feel lightheaded. Yeah, no, lightheadedness is normal. You probably need to be eating a little bit more iron. A little bit more red meat and spinach. Because you might be a little bit anemic. And that can happen. Make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids, getting like plenty of vitamins. It's hard. It is. Unfortunately, we're still living in a society where it's not talked about as much as it should be. But, just, you know, sorry. I'm still sick, so my thought processes are a little bit frayed. But yeah, if it could be anemia, it could be a couple other things. I used to nearly pass out. I would get into I would I don't like reliving this because it was actually super traumatic. Dark goth clothes. Part of the reason why I really like dark clothes is because you know what, I'm not gonna get into that too much. I like dark clothes anyway. I was really into, like, I really wanted to wear goth clothing when I was in high school, but now I get to wear goth clothing because I'm not in high school and I get to pick and wear whatever I want. But at the time, if you ever read anything online that's like, hey, you want to start dressing scene or goth, well, the first thing you need to know is you need to go thrift your clothes. Well, that's not the kind of clothing that shows up in thrift stores in Australia. You know what kind of clothing that shows up in thrift stores in Australia? Old women's. That's the kind of clothing that shows up in thrift stores in Australia. You go in there and you're going to find a 30-year-old blouse. Thrift store, don't be scared of thrift stores. You can still find some great stuff in there, and depending on where you're living, you could also find, it's really based on the demographic of the area that you're in, because the thrift stores is the stuff that the people who are around where you're living in are handing over. Yeah. Yeah. Thrift stores are good. Thrift stores are very good. Unfortunately, in Australia, we don't have a lot of thrift stores. Majority of them are run by the Salvos, which are a garbage group. And even just from what I'm about to tell you, you can tell that they're not very good. Is that I will go into a thrift store and I will be paying about 80% of retail price. My parents thought I was an emo when I was a kid because I liked black shirts and was clinically depressed. Technically, that does make you an emo, but it doesn't make you a scene kid. It does make you an emo. Black and depression is emo. And then scene is with the colored clothes and stripes. Precisely, that's exactly it. The thrift stores are meant to be for the people who can't afford those items, and then you go in and you're paying 80% of retail price. So it's like, why? And it's because they're trying to make a profit, even though they're meant to be not for profit, because it's meant to be from a Christian organization, but no. Why would they? So, I'm not a fan. Some stuff in there isn't too bad, like some of the art pieces that they sell at a reasonable price, but that's because they can't move them on unless they've got them at a reasonable price. Yep, cosplay, like if you can go into a thrift store and you can get stuff for good pricing, absolutely, you should build from thrift stores. Went to one in Canada, and when I went to the baseball bat section, I got a real bad vibe when I touched one of the bats. I felt the hatred and anger radiating off it. Oh yeah, see, that is one of the problems with thrift stores, is like they do tend to carry the energies of anything that was donated. As a black metalhead growing up, my closest friends were emos. They're pretty fucking chill and have great taste in music. Yep. Yes, they do. Can attest. I can also attest though that the whole concept of like a music-based subgenre doesn't exist in Australia. Like, people don't form cliques based on the music they like. Why do churches still use the 10% thing? Like in past times, they have a purpose. Cha-ching. Look, to a degree, if a church is doing the right thing, right? If they're doing the right thing, using a portion of their charity donations to keep their actual services running, like church youth groups, like they should be doing things like hot breakfast in the morning for kids. Kids who can't get breakfast in the morning, give them an opportunity to go get breakfast at the church. Or youth groups for after school activities. Or supporting the homeless and all those sorts of things. But they don't do that. They don't do that. Some of them do. I know there are some that do. And they're doing the right thing. But a lot of them don't. And they're not doing the right thing in that respect. When I was in yeah. There are some good ones, but they're few and far between. And I want to, like, I'm not going to turn around and say, hey, all religion is bad. I'm never going to say that because I don't believe it. I think religion can find people purpose. And I think for people, especially for people who are sort of in this in-between stage in their lives where they're not sure what to believe in, and they've got a whole bunch of things coming at them from all sides, especially in this day and age where there's so much information on the internet and there's so much corruption from the very top all the way down to like all the companies and all that sort of stuff. I feel like religion can be a lodestone for people, but not all religion is built the same, and not all people have good intention. Some people see the vulnerability that people have. Some people see where people have these insecurities and this desperation to find something to cling to. And they just take and take and take and take. You know what a good example of that is, actually? A very, very good example of it, and a very good commentary on it. Welcome Nightmare, I believe. It's just Nightmare. The dollars and the control, yes. A good example, unitology from Dead Space. That is a excellent example of the way some church-fronted are running. But that doesn't mean there aren't good ones still out there. It just means that it means that people have to be discerning, and unfortunately some people aren't in a position to do so for whatever reason. Some people just don't have just straight up don't have the IQ. Oh, Pat, thank you. But some people also just are tired. They're just looking for something with meaning, something that can tell them what they need to do, because they just don't understand what they're supposed to do at this point. We are living in a pre-cyberpunk 2077. Sexual and the brain world hadn't changed, yeah. But it's not even... It's weird the way that sexualization has occurred too. My mom's faith got her through leukemia. She tells me all the time that she prayed nightly. And a week later, her leukemia was benign. Doctor says she'll be with us and got a good long time. She turns 58 next year. See, that's the thing, right? I think faith is very important. I think limiting people's ability to have faith is just as bad as too much of it, you know? Played way too many cult-related games, not be scared of my Catholic school rituals. I think the important thing is always to look inside. I think being presented with information is always good. And more information is sort of like the key of how humanity grows. We grow, but always look internally and go, 1, what does this mean to me? 2, is this actually legitimate? And 3, can I source this? And as soon as you can sort of start analyzing everything that you come across rather than taking it as face value, You're not only just going to avoid being roped into cult behavior or accidentally falling for misinformation, but it's also going to teach you more about yourself and more about what you believe in and what your moral compass is. Because I think that is something that isn't really emphasized enough as we're growing up, is that we need to be able to look inside and go, is this something that I can align with? She has to work every 6 months, but it's been 2 years and she's still around. Yeah. I'm very happy for you, Trevor. That's really good news. Anything sort of like in the big C or leukemia family is always going to be rough. So I'm glad that things are going well. I'm glad things are going well. You're gonna see me. You're gonna hear me shuffling around a little bit because I'm gonna say this again. I'm sick. Which is also meaning that any of like the topics that I had in mind are sort of like going, ooh, out of the back of my head. Oh yeah, I think, did I bring that up last time? I think I did. Oh well, while we're all here. So, the reason why there's only one stream happening this week, tomorrow I've got some technical stuff happening, so I'm not going to be able to stream anyway, but the other thing is that I am in preparation for next week. So from next week, starting on the 2nd, I'm going to be streaming every single night up to the 9th, at my usual time. I'm going to be changing my usual time to 11:30 from now on. It's all going to be consistent. So we don't get, I think some people think my starting time is 11:30 across the board. So I'm going to make it 11:30 across the board just for consistency's sake. It also gives me a little bit more time of like actual main day during the week when I'm not working. So I can, for example, go out to dinner and not have to worry too much about getting home and being like, oh, I've got to scramble to get ready for stream, because sometimes I do get home from a family member's place at like 10 o'clock at night, and that only gives me like 20 minutes to get ready, and it takes me about 15 minutes to have a shower, so it leaves me even less time. So yeah, I'm going to be moving all my stream times to 11:30 Australian time starts from next week. And then from next week, I will be doing from the 2nd to the 9th, I'll be streaming every day. The current stream plan is I'm going to be attempting, I'm not going to be like doing any practice runs. I'm just going to be I'm going to be raw dogging it. I'm going to be raw dogging a Final Fantasy VIII speedrun attempt. I'm going to be just going in and just doing it. We'll be seeing what my time looks like and whether or not I should actually give it a real God's honest try at some stage. But I'm going to go for it with like my own sort of strats, and once we actually have actually given it a red hot shot, seeing how far we can get in a single stream, however long it takes me or when I feel like finishing. Then we'll have a look at what the actual strat is, whether or not there's particular skips we need to be looking into, and the best way that how people actually go about it, because I know that there's going to be a lot of like fiddly nuance and in how people actually approach random encounters and combat in general, and also what they prioritize in terms of speed. Because I know that you're going to be trying to avoid as many encounters as possible, that's 100%, but like, I'm wondering, do you go into an encounter and do like one draw, or do you actually just escape everything and hope once you get to a certain point that you're still going to be okay? Because I know if you can get your hands on one card mod to a a couple of the refined ones. Up to a certain point, you're going to be fine. Because you get a significant amount of resources from cards, even if you aren't playing the card game, because you get the Ifrit card pretty early, you get the Diablos card pretty early. If you just indulge in 1 or 2 card games. Skull the Hero Slayer. Let me look. I've got Steam open. Ooh. Ooh. This looks like a action roguelike. Okay. Interesting. This pixel art's not bad. It looks like something I was working on at one point. I will... Oh, 50%. I'm not really looking to buy anything else this week, but let's add this to my wish list. Yeah, okay, thank you for that one. I will add it to my wish list. Thank you. So yeah, there's a lot of... I know that there's going to be a lot of nuance in doing a 538 speedrun, but I'm willing to give it a go with my own strategies in mind, and we'll see how fast I can get through it. And then the plans for the next couple of days after that is Resident Evil 2 Remake, but modded. Do you guys want to see a preview of that actually? While we're all here, do you guys want to see a preview of what my Resident Evil 2 modded game looks like? Get a honest to God's, because Resident Evil 2's ready. Resident Evil 2's ready. All right, we can preview. We can quickly preview that. I'm not going to be playing it. We can preview it though. All right, let's jump into gaming. I'm not going to set the game because we're just previewing it. You can ignore that. I can ignore that, but you guys can also ignore that. Resident Evil 2 play. I have played a little bit of Village. Yeah, it's hard to ignore, it's the whole screen. Well, it was... Problem was, I kept forgetting, so now it's the whole screen. Hey, where is my game? Let me select it, please. Yep. Ooh. Now can I select it? Yep, here we go. Yeah, hello. It was a setting that I hadn't fixed, so let me just fix this. Yeah. OG. I put it on OG. Oh yeah. Good shit. Good shit. Hang on, I need to move you guys over slightly. There we go. Mm-hmm. I see. You have met me at this point. You know that I love vampires and werewolves, so when Village came out, I was like, yes! But then they didn't actually turn Chris into a werewolf, and I was like, no! So that's why I was disappointed in Village, is because they didn't actually turn Chris into a werewolf. If they'd actually made Chris into a werewolf, I think I would have been happy. And I'd be like... Because I think Resident Evil has this real, oh my god, this is gonna sound insane, but this is kind of something that happens sometimes when I have fever dreams. I dreamt this moment. I had I hate that! my sister had them more often than I did. But I've had them a couple of times, premonitional dreams, where I have like, it's not even deja vu. It's, I dreamt this. I saw it. Yeah, they gave us Vampire Mummy. They really did. And I'm very happy with that. But see, I tend to gravitate towards men more than women. And all of the men in Resident Evil Village, well, aren't my type. Arguably Chris, but Chris is... nah, Chris punches boulders. Chris is probably also shagging peers. Let's be real. Corey X Kenshin's Markiplier's reaction to Lady Dimitrescu was goated. That particular video is how I reacted when the Final Fantasy XIV boss Fatebreaker first showed up. Chris does punch boulders. That's canon. Okay. So I technically have a continue here, but I haven't actually saved. She is very fine. Alright, let's do a new game. Up to you. Do we do Claire or Leon? It doesn't really matter. You're gonna see exactly what I've done very quickly. Claire or Leon, chat? I think I can poll in Twitch now, but you know, you put a C in chat for Claire and L in chat for Leon, and we'll go from there, because it'd be... Polling is a pain in the butt. See? Okay, we got one for Claire. Actually, L. One, okay. One for Leon, one for Claire. Oh, Claire. Another one for Claire. Claire, okay. Looks like Claire is winning. Alright, Claire has one. I'm gonna call it for Claire. Alright. Standard, doesn't matter.
Look, man, I'm serious, okay? I saw this with my own eyes.
Oh, I believe.
Do we want to bother with this cutscene? Oh.
Last Friday night,
I may have modded Claire.
This woman started coming towards me. She was staggering, you know, so I figured she was drunk.
See, I'm actually quite familiar with this game, and I'm also quite familiar with its speedrun, so it's probably not going to be particularly exciting in terms of watching me shit my pants. The Resident Evil 4 is also a game I'm going to be playing though, and that will be more exciting in terms of me shitting my pants, because I only know the very intro section of it.
She looked like a corpse. Like a walking corpse, man.
Sounds like my wife.
Sounds like my wife.
Calm down, buddy.
I'm very familiar with Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 2 remake up to around the kennels and just before you get into the sewers.
Oh, come on. Just getting good.
I don't know how to do that movement on the steps where they kind of like hop.
I need some sleep. Oh, shit.
I'm just showing this cutscene because we all like this cutscene. The burger looks oily but kind of good, yeah. They were really showing off with this remake. I feel so bad for this guy, man. My mods aren't on!
Yeah, I'm almost there. You know me, I'll be fine.
God damn it! This whole point.
I'll be back as soon as I find Chris.
Fuck!
I will, but I gotta go.
Never mind, they are.
Why does everyone think I'm gonna get in trouble? What the?
No.
Hello?
No, the mod's not for a specific outfit. No.
Hello? Anybody here?
Seems Claire also likes Final Fantasy VIII. Correct!
Hello?
Smash. Yes, Sam. Yeah, I'm
Are
going.
you okay?
He'll be fine.
Wait here. I'll check it out. Excuse me, is everything okay?
Stay back, ma'am. I got this.
Get off him! I said get off him! Don't come any closer! Bastard!
Look, if you can contact Ben Starr, I'd be absolutely down to do so. Where we could both read from the Holy Bible, the Final Fantasy VIII strategy guide, which I also have a physical copy of. Hey, it's my boy!
We gotta get out of here.
You alright?
Yeah, I think so. Thanks.
You can thank me later, when we're safe.
Holy shit.
Where do all these people come from?
Come on!
Good thing this car had its keys in.
Hold on.
It just feels right! I'm gonna ban a bot in a sec. It kinda does. Unfortunately, that's a limitation of Team Ninja.
Hopefully they'll have some
Making everybody look very
Wait, you're a cop?
feminine.
Yeah, Leon Kennedy. You are?
Claire. Claire Redfield.
Live around here?
No. I'm looking for my brother. He's a cop too.
Well, it's a good thing we found each other. I don't know what to expect anymore.
He may be grab a katana and put it inside a revolver. Maybe glue them together. Yeah, yeah, it is. Maybe he had a police key. No, the key's actually in the car. The cop had left the key in the car, so they lucked out. But that's kind of the whole point of the protagonists of Resident Evil, is that they get lucky at every point where they need to. Silly bot, go somewhere else. Yeah, I'll ban him in a sec. In fact, I could probably do it now while this intro is running. It's not going to keep running. Can I just ban this dude in this chat, or do I actually have to go to Twitch? Yes! I now have banning powers without having to go on the website. Yeah, all the plot armor. Well, I mean, besides Jill, I think Claire, Leon, Chris, Rebecca... Yeah, Claire, Leon, Chris, and Rebecca are actually part of the very small, like the 4 or 5% of people that are immune to the T-virus. Leon, definitely.
Attention all citizens.
Leon, I think Leon and Claire, definitely.
Citywide outbreak.
Um,
You were advised to
Batman's specialty plot armor, yeah.
City Police Station.
Yeah,
Will be provided.
Jill is not immune to it, but everybody else is pretty much.
So unreal.
Police station's not much farther. They'll know something.
Yeah, but what if we're the only ones? What if there's no
No,
survivors?
they're survivors. It's a big city. There has to be.
Special shout out to Cypher Almasi FF8 on Nexus Mods. He made these and the mods we're going to be using for Resident Evil 4. So, Resident Evil 4 is also going to be slightly, like, mostly similar. We're going to be, you know, the expected squally as Leon. But, there's going to be a few more mods available for Resident Evil 4.
More like running.
Namely for a certain one named Krauser. I love this cutscene.
Leon, we gotta back up. Hold that.
Holy shit. There, get out. Get out now! Hold on!
Krauser. That'd be dope. Look, the more people who are playing and making these mods visible, maybe they'll do more. But also, maybe Square Enix will notice that people are interested in Final Fantasy VIII content and do something. Oh. Am I lagging because of the stream? That's...
Claire! Claire, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. How about you?
I can't stay here. It's not safe.
Oh shit. Go on ahead. I'll meet you at the station.
Off we go! No, no, no.
Can't stop. Gotta keep moving. It's like the end of the world.
I do kind of wish they still had the original, like, city section here. It would have been nice to keep that city section, but I understand why it's gone. But I think, does Claire get a change of outfit? I think she does. Thanks, Nobono. Have a great night.
Anybody here?
I don't have one. Let's get the first aid spray though, because I usually get a couple of bites going through here. It's not here, it's down here. There is a mod for both Squall and Renoa's outfits. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing Raccoon in 9. It's gonna be really good. Yeah. Let's just get up to the point where we meet Marvin and then I'll close it off. Oh, I didn't check the computer at all. Oops. Turns out you don't need to. Have a good night, Angelica.
Focus, Claire. Focus.
Yeah, I got classic going. I mean, I got 90 characters from 1999 running around, so I was like, I think classic's better suited. Jesus Christ.
Open up! Hurry! Open up! Open this goddamn door!
I'm here!
Open the door! Hurry up! Hurry up! Open it!
Here, give me your hand!
Help me!
Hold on! Give me your other hand!
You don't got him. You got part of him.
I'm so sorry.
Locking in. Fuck! Oh, damn it. Ow, ow, ow. That's a time loss. Ooh, that would be neat.
You all right?
Yeah.
You're safe. For now. Marvin Branagh.
Sorceress Adele, holy shit.
Thanks.
Obviously someone taught you well.
Yeah. I know how to take care of myself.
Come on.
That would be dope as fuck. Sorceress Adele smashing down walls. It'd be scary though. That would scare the shit out of me.
So nobody knows what caused this?
Damn it. Okay, so I don't have my proper outfit
lot of theories.
loaded.
But all I know for sure is that this place is crawling with zombies.
Yeah, you're telling me.
I'll fix it up
Keep that on.
before.
Just in case.
I'm not gonna be around long. Once I find Chris, we're out of here.
You really Chris's sister?
Yeah. Why? Did you find something?
He's on vacation. Europe, I think. Left weeks ago.
Vacation? That's great news.
Ooh.
I've got more for you.
Spider-Mech, that would be fucking...
Looks like there might be a way out through this secret passageway.
Spider-Mech is Birkin.
Hey. Hey, we should probably get you to a hospital.
No, but Jar is Birkin.
No. Don't be ridiculous. You're gonna need some help.
Listen, Claire. Save yourself.
I've never seen these
See your
scenes.
brother again. Now, you'll probably need this.
No, I'm not taking that. You're gonna...
And be careful. If you see one of those things, no matter who they were, you can't hesitate. Take them out if you can. Or you run.
It's always really sad that people aren't as gentle with men. People are so much more gentle with women, but like sometimes men deserve a little bit of gentleness too. Combat knife! This is my combat knife, everybody! It's my combat knife! It's my combat knife! Only takes one slide! And just FYI, it's not fucking around. The mod actually also increases its range. So I think I can hit this box from here. Yeah. Combat knife. Combat knife. Does she have a piece of commentary coming through here? No, okay. Anyway, we'll find out more about the combat knife next week. Next week. So we'll be playing this for a couple of streams next week. Let's jump back on Just Chatting. Yeah. And I'll make sure that she's actually wearing her out, because the mods that I have give her, like, you can have just the heads, or you can have the full outfits. For Leon, he always starts out in like that casual outfit, but when he changes into the cop clothes, he's wearing his proper clothes. So I just gotta make sure that I double check on what's going on with Claire's. And then I haven't finished. The reason that I'm only streaming one time this week is because I've also got to get Resident Evil 4 fully set up with all of its mods, but then I've also got to fuck around and test Kingdom Hearts 3, because at the moment the plan is to mod Kingdom Hearts 3 to also be in the same vein, since this week-long status streams is to celebrate the fact that Final Fantasy VIII's NA release was 26 years ago as of the 9th of September this year. Just as a additional note on that, Final Fantasy IX was 25 years ago, and they have had full merch releases, brand new figurines, a whole new website release, additional crossovers. Final Fantasy XIV has all of this Final Fantasy IX shit happening, blah blah blah, and then Final Fantasy VIII's 25th anniversary was last year and they did fucking nothing. So that's why I'm doing a week long of streams. It's not because I love the game, but even though I do, I love the game. I love Final Fantasy VIII. I'm doing it out of spite. Look, if you can figure out how to do that, I will absolutely play with them. That'd be so cute. So funny. Look, also, I wonder, it'd be good as time any, I guess. Let me get open the internet browser and check. Nexus mods always loads really slow, so this may take me a bit. But I want to actually have a look. Resident Evil 2... Search game, Resident Evil 2 1999. $1998. Sorry, I'm wrong. Square Enix does need to put more respect on FF8's name. It deserves it. It's still a good game. Still very fun. And just because some idiot spoony bards freaking ruin people's mindset of it doesn't mean the game's bad. Okay, so I want to includes search description includes Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 3 Lizard Man for Leon. I know for a fact there's more than that. Because I have seen Kiros's head modded onto Liquors. Damn. No, okay. Doesn't look like anybody has done this recently. At least not on Nexus. They may have done it at some other point, but it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, definitely call out the review. A load of shit and it was straight up wrong. Yeah, I haven't even watched it, but I've heard it, like somebody turned around and was like, I think the reason why that review was part of it, and I was like, you know what? Absolutely. I've talked about this, well, actually, I haven't talked about it really on the stream, but the early days of game reviewing really corrupted a lot of people's views on early, like, because it all became an echo chamber, right? They're like, they went and watched it and went, maybe I was wrong. And then they didn't play the game and didn't analyze it within themselves and go, this person who's saying things really confident on the internet must be right. That's the only thing that makes sense. And so I have suffered for however many years, it's been a while, with people literally coming up to me out of the blue just because I have something like Final Fantasy related in my name or my title or like my costumes or something else, and like going, you know, Final Fantasy VIII's the worst run, right? Like, I don't care. Clearly, I don't agree with you, clearly, but two, you're wrong. I'm gonna say something really controversial and say it's 4. No way, it's 2. Everybody agrees it's 2, so I'll just say it's 2. But part of me is also thinking, like, everybody says 2 is really bad. Part of me is like, am I gonna play it and really like it? Because that tends to happen. I've had people, like, Lords of Shadow, for example. People are like, oh, that was really bad for the... And like, I play it and it's great. Awesome. Fantastic set of games. Lovely. Great time. No, I mean, I've spoken about which ones I like and which ones I don't. I don't think 15 is a particularly strong entry. I think it has some good parts, but I think it really did get, I think its world building isn't particularly good. 2, personally, it'd be 2, 4, FF7 remakes, and I want to say the original Final Fantasy 12. Look, from what I've played of Final Fantasy 7 remake, I actually don't mind it. I don't really mind the games. I thought they were fun to play, and I thought they were an interesting expo. Like, you can't play them without having played the original 7. But I think they're okay games. I think they stand strongly as gameplay, and I think their story is okay. But I think Final Fantasy 15's gameplay isn't enough, with its world building being the way it is. Like, the 7 remakes wouldn't stand if 7 wasn't the way it is, but they're not designed to stand on their own. They're designed to rely on the original. They should have re-released the original they should have remastered the original before they released the 7 remakes, but they knew that a lot of people wouldn't touch 7 remake if they did that. Because the 7 remakes aren't remakes, they're sequels. They're recursive sequels. Yeah. Yep. I mean, we have a mutual friend, in fact, who is of the same mind. But I'm, like, this is that thing, like, I didn't mind Castlevania being the way it is. I tend to be a little bit more open to that, but I do wonder how I would react if they added additional story bits to 8. The thing is, I fully expect if they ever do remake 8, that there will be additional story added, and I'm not going to be... Well, I'm going to try not to be too sort of anti it, you know? Because I'm worried, one, if they do remake it, I'm very worried that it's going to need people in its corner, and I'm more than happy to be in its corner. But also, I think letting myself sort of fall into my own expectations is going to be reductive for the game as well. Because the reality is, as much as I can speculate as to what the 50% of missing game is, there's no way for me to actually know. They didn't leave it in the game files. There's no there's only very, very little evidence from what we got from both the Ultimanias and what they've discussed and what was actually cut of what the 50% of game that is missing is. Because a lot of it didn't even hit production. Yeah. I appreciate added story as a means to add world building and character development. I think it's very necessary for 8. I don't think it was as necessary for 7. I understand it in terms of the remakes where they're kind of obligated to a degree. Like, people have been waiting for so long for a chance to revisit these characters in this world that they've got to add new stuff. Because the reality is, unlike any other of the games that they remake, including like the remake that they fully remade Crisis Core, and then they just called it a remaster, but that game is remade from the ground up. They didn't have to add anything to that because it's complete experience, and it's already additional cutscenes in a story where people were wondering what happened at this point in the story. But in terms of Final Fantasy VII's main story, a lot of people have always been like, hey, I would like to see more stuff around the original Avalanche crew. I would like to see more of this. I'd like to see more of that. And I think that they've had so long to sort of speculate and think about it that that's what they ended up wanting to do. I think the reality is they still need to release a Final Fantasy VII remaster. If they want to call a pure remake from cutscene to character model, everything being one-to-one, a remake rather than a remaster, then they've got a remaster rather than a remake. They've got to remaster, quote unquote, Final Fantasy VII. They just have to. The game doesn't run very well on modern hardware anymore. It crashed my fucking PC the last time I tried to run it. It completely crashed my PC the last time I tried to run it. It locked everything up. Final Fantasy VIII being its Steam and I mean, they always have really bad PC ports, but because the Steam version of 8 is prefer a remaster, classic RPG mechanics and enhanced graphics. That's the thing. That the 7 remakes don't stand on their own because they're not remakes, they're sequels. They're sequels. So if you're not going to make the original material accessible to people, and they're going to be arguing like, oh, you made Ever Crisis, that's not the original material. That's not the original material. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. It doesn't make any fucking sense, in fact. Oh, I lost my train of thought then. The 8, hang on, let me just jump back for a sec. The 8 Steam release that was released in 2013, that runs just fine, and it's because Final Fantasy VIII was originally released for the PC at the same time as the original game. Or very, very close by. Like, there was a PC version of 8 almost at the exact same time there was the PS version. In fact, I'm not sure. Maybe 7 also had one, I'm not sure. But 8 stood to the test of time. I don't know if 7's did. I don't think 9's did. I don't think 9 did, because it had, it always had a real problem with, being emulated. Because of the cutscene speed. And I think it was cross-compatible with Dreamcast. Just having a very brief look at... Okay. So I suspect there is another database of Resident Evil 2 mods, but I just don't know where they are. If anybody wants to let me know, And like, if you know where the database of Resident Evil 2 OG mods are, send me like a... Hang on, I've had this menu open for ages. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. No. Whenever you're ready, VTube Studio, can you do the thing that I need you to do? Thanks. Thank you. God. I'm too tired for this. Yeah, message me on Twitter, because I'll go and look up the mods for Resident Evil 2, especially if they've got the 98 models, the 99 models for 8. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah, that's what I've got planned for next week. And then I've got a birthday. My birthday is coming up on the 13th of September. I don't have any plans for that yet. I'm going to stream on my birthday, and I know that a lot of VTubers are like, oh, it's my birthday, and they have like these huge celebrations, but I have no fucking idea. I actually have no idea what I'm going to do for it. It's going to be one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to have to be trying to plan for it, but I'm also in the process of working on video games, and that's taking a lot of my concentration and my effort at the moment. Yeah, cake day. Cake day. It was Squall's cake day 5 days ago. It was his birthday on August 3rd, 23rd, and I had cake. I had cake for Squall's birthday. Look, any reason you can celebrate, right? Life is short. Take the small celebrations. Celebrate for whatever reason. If you want to celebrate, just do it. So I had a lemon and blueberry cake with cream cheese frosting. Yeah, you should be working, if you're a game dev, you should be working on your project. You should be working on your project. I'm participating in a game jam, Spooktober specifically, but I'm not going to be participating it as Petra, so I'm not going to be able to talk about it a lot on the stream, because otherwise it's going to give away who I am. But it's also going to be taking a lot of my concentration, so a lot of my streaming efforts for the next month are going to be just purely stream besides the month. That's why I'm trying to get all this stuff prepped before September hits. So I'm not trying to do any of the prep while the actual jam is taking place. And I can just purely stream and not worry about it too much. It would be good if I had like a moderator who could do clip work for me, like an editor, but I don't. So I don't know when I'm gonna get time to clip and edit stuff, but that's just the name of the game. Sometimes, like, when you're creating a lot of stuff at the same time, you're gonna make sacrifices, and unfortunately, I want to win. I'm tired of making like 6 or 7 out of 10 games. I want to make a 10 out of 10 game that blows everybody out of the fucking water. I want to smash this thing. I want to make everybody else look like schmucks. Okay, no, maybe not that aggressive, but to a degree, I really wanna try and knock it out of the park, you know. All right, my throat is starting to get a bit sore, so I actually think I'm going to wrap up stream for tonight now, because I'm getting kind of tired and I'm still sick. But thank you everybody for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming on and catching up, and I hope to see you all next week. Thank you so much for the head pat. I will be there will be a lot more like channel redeems. There'll be trivia nights. I need to investigate whether or not Triple Triad Online still exists, but if it does, we might even have Triple Triad tournaments. I will definitely be fully recovered by next week, so yeah, there'll be some good stuff happening. There'll be some good stuff happening next week, so make sure you come and tune in. I'll be available any of the next weeks, and I'll see you soon. And make sure you let your friends know to come and hang out as well. And if you see Ben Starr in the wild, Let him know too. Somebody who isn't me, so I don't look desperate, at Ben Starr on Twitter and let him know that I'm doing a Final Fantasy VIII anniversary stream. Don't actually do that. Also Iron Mouse, but don't actually. Losing in Final Fantasy 14. Yep, that's triple triad. That's triple triad. Yeah. It'd be very, very similar online too. We could play it in 14, but I mean, I could try and gather everybody together and we can show up on an NA, so like on the Materia. Everybody goes to the Materia server and just plays me at triple triad. No, I mean, what happens if he actually responds? It's like, I end up on stream with Ben Starr. I mean, unless I just go, that said, I think I am gonna make like a Petra version of like getting flashbanged, and that's gonna be a channel point redeem on Twitch. Unfortunately, a lot of the channel point redeems, the predictions, all of that sort of stuff are gonna be on Twitch because I don't have them yet on YouTube. Someday, but I'm nowhere close. I'm about halfway on the following requirement and like 10% of the watch hours. So it will happen. Like we're progressing towards it, but it's not gonna be soon. It's not gonna be next week. That's for fucking sure. Alright. I will catch you guys all next week. So I hope you guys all have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, and I will catch you all next time. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Nap time.